Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be a little bit of a different podcast. I've said that a few times, but as you guys know, I've partnered up with First Form. Speaking of First Form, depends on when this show comes out. I've got a pretty good backlog of shows right now, and so I'm not sure when all these are going to come out. But as we end this year, First Form did a mystery flavor for Black Friday. Pretty cool can, by the way. Check that thing out. All black, blacked out. I love it. So it's a mystery flavor. I actually have not been told what this is. We did our call the other day, our business call the other day, and we were kind of talking about it. People are guessing what they thought it was. I have my guess, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. If you guys have tried this, leave a comment down below. If you haven't, in the show notes, I'll leave a link to pick these up and try it. They're good. In fact, I've always loved the Screamin' Freedom back there. I got quite a bit of those and just absolutely love those. But with this new flavor, it's got a different flavor to it. I don't want to give it away and tell you guys what I think it is because I think that will sway your guys' thoughts on it. But if you haven't got these, click the link below, get you some mystery energy drinks and see what you think. But man, they are so cool looking. So anyway, so as part of First Form, they have the First Form Outdoors, and it's a really cool program. And if you guys aren't following them on social media, make sure you follow them. But had a chance to meet some of the guys at some of the Total Archery Challenges, and have just got to know a lot of people in the First Form Outdoors industry. Also had Jonathan with Redbeard Outdoors on the podcast previously. He's part of First Form Outdoors. Obviously, eHunter, we've partnered with First Form Outdoors, and I'm absolutely loving it. So with that, there's a lot of great athletes that are part of First Form Outdoors. So I'm going to start a new segment on the podcast, and I'm just going to call it the First Phorm Family, because that's really what First Form is, not just for me as a proponent of it, but also anybody that is taking First Form supplements, has the app, does the activities, does the workouts. I mean, it really, for anybody that's involved with First Form, you really become part of that family. So I have Britt Mace coming on with me today. We're going to talk all things First Form, her involvement in the outdoors, what got her into the outdoors, what got her into First Form, and then some of the cool things she's doing. She's a mama and is doing some pretty cool workouts with her kids. If you guys probably don't follow her on social media at this point, but give her a follow on Instagram. She's always posting stuff, has really cool workout programs for moms trying to lower their stress, stay fit, all that fun stuff. And we'll get into that more throughout the podcast, but super excited to chat with her, get to know her a little bit, and kick off this new segment of the First Phorm Family. So guys, appreciate your support on the podcast. Make sure and hit that subscribe button down below. Like, comment. If you're on YouTube, please make sure and comment, subscribe. It helps me so much. So hope you guys are liking the video podcast. It's kind of nice being able to see people, right? When they're on the podcast, being able to see who's talking and who's presenting, especially when I've got guests on. You guys probably don't want to see my ugly mug all the time, but when I got these guests on, it's kind of fun to have them involved. So anyways, guys, make sure and hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into the podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. As I mentioned in the intro, I've got Britt Mace with me today. If you guys follow along with First Form Outdoors, and if you guys have listened to Jonathan on the Redbeard podcast Outdoors, you would have heard her and got a chance to get to know her a little bit, but excited to have her join me on the podcast, on the eHunter podcast with me, get to know her and talk a little bit more about First Form. And like I mentioned, begin this segment of the First Form family. So Britt, welcome to the call.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. I appreciate you taking the time. And so, yeah, you're my first First Form
That's exciting.
athlete being on here. So I'm stoked.
Perfect.
So I'm new to First Form. I've only been part of the First Form family for about just a couple of months, and the people I met are amazing. And so, like I said, when I reached out to you, I'm like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully she says yes to me. So I'm glad you did.
Yes, of course. Well, welcome to the family.
Well, nice. So before we get started, like I said, maybe people know who you are, maybe people don't. I mean, you're pretty well known in the outdoors community, and I mean, you've been a homesteader, you're a hunter, and all that. But for my listeners that don't know you, if you don't mind, let's kind of kick this off by you telling us a little bit about you.
Sure, absolutely. So I am a wife and mom of two, and I live in Montana. Moved here about 2.5 years. Well, no, almost 3 years now. So been
Wow.
living here for 3 years. Actually looking to move back to Colorado. My husband is working there right now. So eventually we'll be moving back and getting there. But I work full time. I design electric distribution. And
Wow.
got in with First Phorm almost 3 years ago as well, just a little shy there. And love it. Absolutely love
Yeah.
it. Fell in love with the company and the morals and values of who they are and who they represent. And then when First Phorm Outdoors came on, I had been coaching for a little bit of time, but then when they came on, it was like just perfect for me. The
Yeah.
perfect fit of who I am. I grew up hunting and fishing with my family, married into it as well. They all hunt and fish. And so it is a big part of who we are. I've always been pretty active growing up as well. So fitness has been a big part of my life. So for having the two join forces was just perfect, for all of my passions to come into one place. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's all. You know what's funny is I'm the same way. Like I've always loved fitness. I've always been a runner and, played baseball, raced motocross. I was always an athlete. But I also was a huge into hunting as a kid. And when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of like fitness in hunting and outdoors. It was especially hunting. It was like you drank beer and drove around in the truck and shot whatever you found. And
absolutely,
it's completely changed now. It's like you got to be fit. You got to be mountain ready to go out and do what we do.
Totally. I mean, I grew up in Minnesota, so you're sitting in the
Wow.
deer stand all day.
Yeah.
And that's what you do is you drink all day by yourself in the deer stand and
Right.
eat all of the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
And, and you go to the bar at night and it's just, that's how it was. That's how I grew up doing it. And my dad was pretty in shape and very active,
Mm-hmm.
I watched him, he has passed, but towards the end of his life, he was getting ready to go for a couple elk hunts here and there. And he had to work his butt off to be able to get in shape to go. And he bought a bike. He was always running and being active. And so I kind of saw that when I was growing up, like, oh, elk hunting's a lot harder. And then my husband and I went to, got married in Minnesota and then went to Colorado and started hunting first. And I was like, oh, this is legit. Growing up in Minnesota. So then we actually fell in love with it so much that we moved to Colorado because pretty much for hunting in the mountains and just that atmosphere. Oh. So yeah, it's definitely a different breed of how we grew up to, what hunting has turned into me and for my family.
I'm the exact same way. So like my dad is who got me into hunting too. And yeah, he was always like a fit guy. He's a firefighter. So you kind of have to be fit to be a firefighter. And, he worked out a lot and stayed in shape. And so like when we would like, when you shoot a deer and you got to drag it several hundred yards, you find out how out of shape you are when you have to drag an animal. So like I watched him doing that and he was pretty fit and could do it. So I was like, okay, I need to stay somewhat fit. But man, it sure changed. I don't even know when it was, but I don't know, early 2000s, it changed from kind of just you're kind of fit and you're kind of out there and you do those things and you go hunting to like, you got to be fit. And the more fit you are, at least for me, the more fit I am, the better I can hunt, the more fun it is, the more enjoyable the experience is. So I'm with you. Hey, where in Colorado are you going to move to?
So about an hour and a half west of Denver. We lived in Silverthorne for about 11 years. Moved here, and then my husband ended up taking his old job back. And so we're looking at more of a small town. It's Kremling.
Yeah.
It's about maybe 1,500 people. Yeah. It's totally right up my alley. We're very small town type of people.
Yeah.
And Silverthorne has changed so drastically over the 11 years. It just was not the place for us to raise kids anymore.
Right.
So.
No, I love it. So we every year we go to Colorado and go deer hunting on the Third Rifle, and that's exactly where we go is Kremling, Granby, like that whole area is where we hunt.
It's beautiful up there.
So gorgeous. Colorado. So I lived in Colorado for about 7 years. I lived on the I-25 corridor in Monument, just kind of north of Colorado Springs. Loved it. Beautiful. We actually ended up moving back out here to Utah where our family is, but I miss Colorado every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss the scenery, not so much all of the people. But the scenery, yes.
That's a good point. I do miss, that's exactly it. I miss
Yes.
the scenery. I don't miss the people,
Yes,
but
I do love living in Montana for that exact reason.
yeah, Montana's gorgeous. Actually went to Montana for the first time in my entire life, like 2 months ago. And oh
Okay.
my gosh, but it's gorgeous up there. Like that is a pretty place.
It is. Yes. Yeah. Where did you go in Montana?
So landed in Billings and then drove to Bozeman and Helena. And then I ended up flying out of Bozeman back home.
So you literally passed right through the town that we live in.
No way,
We're in
really?
between Bozeman and Helena. So
Oh my
you
God.
probably the four-way stop sign that's
Yeah.
in that town, that was us.
That was you.
No stoplight. Yeah.
That's
Townsend
awesome.
is where we're at.
See, we should have done this podcast in person. We should have met a long time ago.
That would've been awesome.
That's so awesome. And hey, maybe when you guys do get to Colorado, maybe I go to Colorado all the time for my job. So I'm a nurse that I run a hospice company. And
Cool.
yeah, and so I go to Denver, Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, that area, but I drive. So I go through Silverthorne from Utah.
Sure.
So we'll have to do a podcast in person one of these days.
Absolutely. That would be so fun. Absolutely.
That is so awesome. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about First Form because, you know, my listeners are very new to First Form. They're just getting used to it. And honestly, I'm just getting used to it. I'm loving it. And you said some of the things that have absolutely drawn me into the company, which is the morals of the company, the family values of the company, the integrity, you know, those things. As I got into it, at first I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. You know, this will be fun. And then, man, they just wrap their arms around you, and just embrace you as part of their family. And so, but I'd love to hear from you. You've been there for 3 years, been part of it for 3 years. Love to know some of the experiences that you've had that kind of represent those things, those attributes that we talked about.
Absolutely. So, started, you know, just like any other Legionnaire, 3 years ago when you stepped right into coaching, and coaching other people. But the confidence they give you right off the bat of like, you can do this, is so, it puts your whole life on a different perspective. Mm-hmm. It really does. The camaraderie and the love of that those people have in HQ that I can't even explain it, that come to you,
right,
you know, through just social media really, and through calls and stuff like that. And to also, be able to just find people that are there for you.
Yeah.
So, they give you that support, the education that they give throughout all of that. And then stepping into First Form Outdoors, like you have some basic people, your coaches and things like that, but then you step into First Form Outdoors, and to actually get to know all of these people that are within HQ who have built their own communities and then bring us all together is outstanding. And they are just, they're amazing people.
Yeah.
They have reached out, you know, in the sense of like, a lot of times being, just working full time and kids and life is busy, right?
Yep.
And these people think about you all of the time, and they reach out and they get that, give that love to you and that support, which is just amazing. But when you go there to HQ, every time, it is hands down the most amazing experience. And they have this excellence about every single person has this excellence about themselves that just makes you want to be a better person. It raises you up, and you can't get enough. It's something where it's like, man, I need to go back there tomorrow. Like, I have to have this in my life all the time.
Yeah.
And that's really what has just kept me going throughout this entire time, of all of these people who are so amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, literally just yesterday, one of them sent me, you know, a meme of like, you're an awesome mom. And it's like, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, you are a company, you're a supplement company.
Right.
Who thinks about me like that? And so to build these friendships and these relationships with these people who are so dedicated and have the same morals that I do, of how I grew up, you know, small town, do the right thing, integrity, and just trustworthy. And like, they all have this on this next level, that it's just like, man, I gotta have more. I gotta be more part of this in every way possible, because they're out of this world. They really are.
They really are. It's just a genuine love and interest for you as a person. I'm going to love this first Phorm Family segment that I'm doing, because exactly what you just said is everything that I've felt. You said it a lot better than I would ever say it, but just just that feeling of camaraderie, and they want the best from you or for you, and like you said, this is a supplement company. I mean, at the core, that's what it really is. Or, no, I shouldn't say at the core. That's what it does. But at the core,
what they started out as.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But there's so much more than that. They're trying to really make people's lives better. And for me personally, they've definitely made my life better, not just from this whole podcasting and business side of it, but I keep talking to people since I've started First Phorm and started using the products and, doing the workouts, using the app and stuff like that. I mean, I've lost almost 20 pounds in the last couple of months.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's amazing.
And which is crazy, because I've always been a runner. I'm doing those things. So it's not like I'm a big guy. So I'm always somewhat fit. And like I said, for the mountain, I'm always trying to stay fit, but adding this additional input of the people that's part of First Phorm, the supplements that are part of First Phorm, it's just taking me to the next level, which I can't even put into words how amazing it is. Can I ask, who was your coach when you first came on?
Well, and she just went on, she left, she had a baby, and so she's going to take care of her baby now, but it was Amy. And,
okay.
She had changed names. She was Amy Makis, and now I'm going to screw up her last name. Amy Funderbunk.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I know her. I've seen her name.
But yeah, they're a power couple together.
Yes.
And within that, but yeah, so I started out with her, and she literally just left a couple months ago, and I miss her dearly. But she was amazing. And now I'm with Jake, and Jake is awesome. And so looking for better and better things all the time. They all push you in that sense of, making you better in every single way.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny because my coach is Brittany Landers. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet her.
She's great.
Oh, she's so well, and I got to say this about her, because you said life's busy, and I'm still trying to figure out what this whole landscape is going to look like with First Phorm and whatnot. And so I've got my full-time job, I got my family, I've got all this other stuff going on. And she's so graceful. She's like, oh yeah, Taryn, you're good. You need to do this. We need to get this done. But this can be on the back burner. She's just so understanding of the life that I'm trying to live and trying to introduce this into it. And I get it, because she's been there. She's coached so many people to do it. But whether I'm talking to her or what's his last name?
Funderbunk.
Oh yeah, you just said it, Funderbunk. Yeah, Sam, his wife.
If that's how you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna pronounce the last name.
I was gonna say I mess it up. So
Funderburk?
Is it Funderburk?
One of the two.
I was actually just trying to look it up while you were talking about it, because I was I can't remember what it is. But anyways, whether I'm talking to Brittany or Sam, or it doesn't matter who I'm talking to, they all have the same kind of motivation, the same messaging. And it really is, again, for my benefit as a person. They wanted me to be successful as a Legionnaire, of course, but I think more importantly than that, they want me to be successful as a person, as an individual. And another cool thing about it is they've taken such interest in my outdoor side of it too. They're not. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think that Brittany's a hunter or anything like that, but she's taken interest into it. She's directed me in the ways to get to that point, which is really cool. So the coaches that are part of this and involved in First Phorm are truly amazing.
They are, and they're pushing you, but they understand that you have a life to live, and we have priorities and taking care of the kids, and we're constantly running, and it's they make it so that it's yes, go live your life, but look how great this is, and I know that you can do this. So they give you that confidence of all right, I am wasting time by scrolling or doing whatever it is, and they just help you tighten things up to where you make it work.
You know what? You made a good point right there. Scrolling, that's one thing that I'm terrible. You waste so much time during the day. And so I've done 75 hard a couple of times, and that's honestly what brought me to First Phorm. Eventually brought me to First Phorm.
Same.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing 75 hard, your whole day is planned, because if you're going to get those 2 workouts in, if you're going to read your 10 pages, you get into the higher phases, you got to take that cold shower, all those things are planned, and try to fit those into a day. You got to be very organized. And I've started to apply some of those same principles into my Legionnaire. Like I've got to do all this stuff during the day. So I don't have time to waste on social media, but I feel more fulfilled at the end of the day. Am I making sense?
Totally. So I've come to, Amy helped me with this, is, she'd tell me to post something, throughout the day. And it's like, I can't, because then I'm ADD and I'm scrolling now instead of doing what I'm supposed to, and I'm supposed to be working. And so I've shut all of my notifications off 100% until like 6 o'clock, Instagram till 8 o'clock, because I have family things. And so it's like all of my notifications are off, all emails are off. Like I don't even touch my phone unless it's my husband calling. And so like it's helped me so much in fulfilling my day of being present with my kids and being present at my job, and just everything. It has made a huge difference to like cut it all out, except then I also find myself scrolling at night when I'm starting to post everything, at the end of the day, get it all on there, and I'm like, oh, it's been an hour.
I'm with you though, because I'm always trying to like respond to everybody. I'm building a community here. I want to be involved with them, and so like when I've got people sending me messages at 10, 11 o'clock at night, like, hey Taryn, I just tried this or that or the other, and it's like, all right. So you start that conversation, like before you know it, it's 11 o'clock at midnight. I got to get to bed because I got to get back up at 4:30 in the morning and go run. So
exactly. Yes.
But it's fun.
It's the balance, but then it's also, there's so many good things that can come out of the social media world, like First Phorm Outdoors and meeting new people. And it's just been an awesome ride and awesome opportunity.
Yeah. So. Well, and you can learn so much. I mean, just since you talked about being part of First Phorm and the education that they do, but I mean, simple things, hop onto First Phorm Outdoors and do like the November knockdown challenge. You start doing that more, it changes you as a person. Honestly, if you're doing those things every day, I mean, you're going to change as a hunter, you're going to change as a person, you're going to change as a father or a mother. Like, it just helps you so much and you learn so much from it. So I agree. There's a lot of good things that come from social media, but I do love your idea of turning off the notifications until there's like setting aside a time for it. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's not easy. It's very difficult.
Exactly. So is your husband part of First Phorm Outdoors as well?
He's not.
He's not.
He is very low key on social media.
That's my wife
pretty
too.
Much stays off. So
I just
he did qualify not last year. He didn't do it this past year, but the year before he had qualified top 10 one of the weeks. So that was pretty exciting. And he really is just doing it to support me and help me do it. And so that was really, really fun to see.
That's awesome. I stalked him a little bit on social media, on Instagram, and just to get a feel for who he was. And I saw a couple First Phorm shirts and whatnot. So I was like, I wonder.
That's all the t-shirts he wears is from all the free t-shirts from all the supplements we purchased.
Yeah.
So that is all he wears.
It's so funny. Like my wardrobe is changing now that I've been part of First Phorm. Like everything's moving over to First Phorm.
Yes. All my shirts, literally, that's all I wear. I'm like, I need to go shopping for real clothes. But I don't wear, I work from home.
Right.
So it's free. We're good.
I'm the same way. I'm sitting here at my office computer. I mean, I've got my work computers behind this computer, and so I sit here all day. So this is what I wear all day long. So, and it's comfortable, good stuff. So, why not?
And they're nice shirts.
Yeah.
They're nice shirts.
They're my best shirts, honestly. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Legionnaire. They are really the best shirts.
They really are. So, yes.
That's awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you a little bit. So I'm being new to this, there's still a lot of stuff I'm learning as far as the supplements go. And so as I'm trying to teach my community, my followers about First Phorm products, they hear all about the stuff that I love. So again, I'm a runner. So the Enduriformance is something that I use religiously. Protein powder I use religiously. But I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the products that you use to help you through your day, to help you through your workouts, to help you in the mountains, just in your daily life? What are some of the things that stand out to you?
Absolutely. So first off, with like busy lifestyle, level 1 is my number one go-to constantly. Yep. I mean, I'm throwing that in with almost every single breakfast, whether it's oatmeal, yogurt, my coffee, whatever it is. Level 1 is my number one go-to, especially even with my kids, making protein pancakes, snacks for them, muffins, all that kind of stuff. That's a big one. Second one that I use religiously also is magnesium. So that helps with a lot of energy. and we're all deficient in it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many benefits to having magnesium, and helping with sleep and relaxation at night. Another one that I use quite often is the post-workout Formula One. I am not a runner. I used to be. And then my back just said, don't do it anymore.
Done with that.
I mostly lift. I'll do, when First Phorm outdoors events are occurring, I try to get back into it. And then I am in so much pain that it's like, it's not worth it. So, so I mostly lift, maybe a little bit of HIIT, that kind of stuff. So Formula One is a big one for me with the creatine. And then also reds and greens are awesome. I've been using those the longest.
Nice.
Yep. And so that combination.
Tell me a little bit about the reds and greens. Like, tell me a little, and my listeners, like, what are some of the benefits that you see from the reds and greens? When do you use them? Tell us a little bit about those.
Sure. So the greens are just a super green, has 5 different blends in there. And it really helps with bloating. And something that I found that when I'm really consistent with them and in a caloric deficit, it helps me with my cravings. So as people are trying to lose weight with the new year coming, it helps me. And yes, you're eating less. So usually that means I'm eating less sugar because I'm watching more of what I'm eating. And that contributes to it. But there is a blend in there that helps you with cravings specifically. So that's a big one. It also helps with your gut health is the main reason for the greens. And when you are digesting your food well, you feel well. So, and you're utilizing all of your protein that you've been eating, and all of your carbs and fats. And so it really gives you that overall balance. And then it also helps with your mood. Our serotonin is made in our stomach and our gut. And so it actually helps you feel better and be, happier as well. So that's a big one. And then the reds are amazing. They are, helping with your immune system, which the greens also help with your immune system. So it's kind of a tag team there. And then there's anti-aging stuff in there. And I just think that they taste better together. So, and mixing them together is, the greens are the best greens I have found tasting wise on the market, but I still like the reds and greens together. I think they just taste really good together. Well,
now I'm gonna have to try them together because I've never actually mixed them together. Now I've got to try them together.
So my favorite combination, and the next one I was going to is microfactor. So I mix my reds, greens, and microfactor all together. That's and then a good idea. I do the berry flavor for the greens, and then actually the mango pineapple for the microfactor, and I mix all 3 of those. And like my kids fight me for it.
No way.
It's good.
It's like a mixed drink.
Yes. So definitely try those 3. And the microfactor as well helps with boosting your immune system, giving you the vitamins and nutrients that you need, especially during winter time and the kids and the illnesses that are going around constantly. It just went through our household, so I was doubling up on all of that. I didn't get sick, but both girls were. It was rough. So man. Those 3 though are a major winter. Like if I'm starting to feel low energy or sick, I'm doubling up on those every single day until I'm starting to feel better, because they really make a difference when you're digesting your food well and getting all the nutrients you need. So
I've thought a lot about that. So like I said, I'm a nurse, and so I think a lot about illnesses and things like that. And I wish that I would have had some of this stuff during COVID, because I'm the same way. Like during the winter months, like I do everything, and historically I've done what I could do, vitamin C and hydration, and did the best I could, kind of a thing. And now, like looking at the reds and the greens and the things like that, that really truly do help you. I mean, man, they could have been so helpful like during COVID. I'm sure they were to the people that were taking it.
Yep. So those are kind of my top. Another one that's good for everybody too is full omega. Getting in your omega-3s is really helpful for inflammation, especially with working out and running and stuff like that. Making sure that your joints feel good. Yeah, there's so many of my favorites. It's hard because then the collagen comes in there too, which is really good. Those are my top. Those are my top. Of course, megawatt, because who doesn't need a little a little boost in their
little
day.
pick me up.
So
Yeah, that's what I've really enjoyed the Megawatt, and you've probably been seeing. I'm over here drinking the new
yeah.
energy drinks. I love. So I've always been an energy drink guy, and I know it's terrible. I really shouldn't drink as much as I do, but I also do run a lot. I work out a lot, so that's my excuse to burn it
Balance.
off. Yeah, exactly.
Life is all about balance.
That's exactly right. No, and I appreciate you sharing those with me, because I feel like everybody I've talked to, we all have our different things, and it fits us. And so it's nice, like for moms out there that are, stay-at-home moms, like, what does Britt do? Like, what does her intake look like? And how can I emulate that a little bit to help myself and my family? So I love you being willing to share that. And I really, really do appreciate that. And it's not even just to be like pushing a product kind of a thing, but more of like, how do we keep people healthy?
Right. And they literally say, I'm in the same boat. I don't push products on people.
Right.
I'm telling you what has helped me in the past. Change my body, has changed my lifestyle, has changed my family's lifestyle. I mean, my kids are looking at everything. Mom, does this have protein in it? Does this have protein in it? Like,
yes.
They are protein conscious.
Yeah.
And they know, like, Mom, does this piece of gum have protein in it? No, dear, it doesn't. And, so they know, and they see it, and they literally ask for level 1 all of the time, whether it's in their oatmeal, yogurt, and it's something I feel good about giving to my kids.
Right.
Same with, the gummies of Little Kids Microfactor, and, the greens and stuff like that. Like, if they're having some of mine, I'm not concerned. It's not just for adults, that kind of thing, where I'm not afraid to let my kids have a couple sips of something that's good for me, because I know it's good for them too.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So I got 4 kiddos, ages like 4 to 14, and same thing. I feel comfortable giving them anything that I'm taking. They're the same way. They want the protein. If there's a protein shake or something like that being made, there's got to be extra made for them. Especially my little 4-year-old. She loves it, and she thinks it's chocolate milk. She's like, this is great. But it is. And
that's the test too. Is it tastes good?
Yeah.
Like, if the kids want it, it tastes good.
So that's, that was like one of my biggest worries, like, and I'm going to be very transparent here, with coming in, to a supplement companies, because in my past, I've tried other supplements and I have not been impressed with them as far as the taste goes. And so I was like, I haven't tried everything. I can't tell you that everything's good, but I've really been impressed with the taste of everything. And honestly, it's, throughout the day, it's mainly what I consume. So right now I'm actually doing the carnivore diet, but I'd also add in my supplements as well. That way, like you said, there needs to be a balance. I don't want to live just completely on carnivore, but adding in those other things. And so, but I like that because I look forward to those things because they do taste so good. It's almost a treat to me. Does that make sense?
It is. And I look at that, and people, I say that as well. Like, even my Reds, Greens, and Microfactor mixed together, like, that's my after dinner sweet treat.
Yeah.
Because it's something I look forward to, and it's greens. Like, greens don't really taste that great,
right,
but it's still sweet enough that it's like, I look forward to it, and it's a treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got to try that cocktail. That's going to be one that's going to be on my list to try. I love the greens. So the greens is something that I've really enjoyed just for the bloating factor. I feel like everything that we eat nowadays causes bloating. If you eat anything processed or anything like that, it's gonna wreck you. And I travel a lot for my living, and so sometimes I am caught with that, having to eat on the road a little bit. But I feel like if I have the greens with me, I don't have the issues that I normally had.
Yeah. Yep. Same thing here. And we've been gluten-free for a long time, and mostly dairy-free, adding in here and there. But if we go out to eat and we eat something, that is deep fried, like my body's not used to that.
Right.
We do not cook like that at home.
Right.
And it's like, get home, hurry up, take them, because I know that I'm going to look 9 months pregnant here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. I need to introduce you to my wife. I think she would love you because she's the same way. She's very health conscious. In fact, she's part of the reason that I got into this. She's not a Legionnaire, but she's very, very health conscious. whole foods, really, especially with our kids. And I think that's where it really comes into. And I've loved that about like following you is, a lot of it, what you do is for your kids. At least that's what it appears like from my point of view.
My whole life revolves around them.
As it should, right? That's really how it
Yeah.
it should be. A lot of people say like, well, you spend so much time, in the mountains, you spend so much time on your fitness. Do you ever feel selfish? And I'm like, no, I really don't, because I'm giving my kids a good example to look forward to. I'm taking them with me to do the things I'm doing. And again, I'm the outsider looking into your life from social media, but it looks like you're doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We take them with, on everything that we do for the most part. And both Colorado and Montana, we have no family. We have,
wow,
very limited people that we know, mostly just friends, which a lot of them either have kids themselves. And it's like, well, I'm not going to dump my kids off there,
right,
kind of thing. And so they're with us. And especially with my husband being gone for the past year now, that they are with me 24/7 unless they're at school. So
wow. That's amazing. That's, like when you look at how people raise kids, and everybody has their own method of raising kids, but for me personally, like I feel like that's how kids should be raised. They should spend time with their mom, their parents. They should be outside doing things, learning life lessons, and again, going back to first Phorm and just the life that we live as outdoors men and women and hunters and whatnot. Like I feel like we're giving our kids the lives that is most beneficial to them.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, absolutely not. So I want to ask you a little bit about hunting, because all my listeners are deep into hunting. That is what we eat, sleep, and breathe. And so, being in Montana, tell me some good hunting stories. Did you guys have any good hunts this year?
We didn't. And
man.
With my husband being gone, we talked about hunting over Thanksgiving when he was here, and it didn't work out. So we ended up not going. And a lot of within our area, it's more of rolling hills. There's not a lot in the mountains, honestly, because it's all pasture.
Yeah.
So they're all down in the ranches. And unless I'm traveling and with a 6-year-old who we're going to get 20 miles in, and she's like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Or 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Let's say you get a 6-year-old 20 miles in, I want to meet that 6-year-old.
Right. 20 minutes in a hike. She's like, are we there yet? And they always say there's nothing more tiring than having a boy as a son, except a girl who doesn't stop talking. And that is my second daughter. I don't think I could keep her quiet in the woods to save her life. But she loves it.
Right.
Our neighbor, God bless them, our dogs are probably trespassing anyways, but they throw all of their deer and elk just out in their 20 acres. So our dogs go over there and drag it back to our property. And so they are finding elk bones and deer bones and hides, and they love it. They love finding that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, there are places to go, but not necessarily for young kids. So honestly, we had family out not this year, but the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, I just walked with my husband as he was bow hunting, and we didn't see it. We didn't find sign. We didn't find anything. And the area that we're in, there's so many road hunters, which I get it. I understand that a lot of people are not in the situation to be hiking and stuff like that. But it's just everyone goes to right by our house, which is super convenient for us, but it's, man, you got to get really far back there, and without any family around to watch the kids, it's been tough here. So, but that's one thing that I am looking forward to getting back to Colorado for, is we just know those mountains like the back of our hand, and we know where they all are at, and they're not all down in the pastures on private ranches. We'll drive past on the highway, and it's 300 head right there.
Oh yeah.
And it's perfect hunting season. And it's like, well, whatever. So
yeah, that area where you guys are going to be going, if you get back in that area, oh man, it is like the prime areas to be hunting. And there's so many, there's good deer, there's good elk, there's bear, there's moose. There really is everything within an hour of Kremlin, you can be in all that.
Yeah. And my husband's been mountain lion hunting the last couple weekends, so he's been into that. And so that's something that we would like to get our girls into more as well. And do that. We have a hound, but we would go with our friend who has, I don't know how many hounds he has, probably 6, 8, something like that. So getting into that would just be awesome for them. And yeah, so
That's
it's
on
on
my
our horizons. We're just kind of in this really weird lull area of ages and abilities. So
I get you, because like when we first moved to Colorado, we were the same way. Living in Monument, like you really couldn't. I mean, yes, there's a lot of mountains around you, but I mean, I had to drive a couple hours to get out of private property, private land, actually public areas where I could actually hunt, and it was difficult. I didn't know anybody, so I couldn't take my wife with me because she was always had to stay home. We had babies at the time, and so she was always home with the babies. It just was super inconvenient, had no family out there. So I understand where you're coming from. And a lot of the reason we came back to Utah was for that reason. We have our family here. It's comfortable here. I know all the areas. I can literally go in in fact, I probably have deer if I looked out the window, have deer in my own backyard, so it makes sense what you're trying to do.
Yes. And we have deer in our backyard as well, but I mean, they're not, to me, they're not shooters. They're
right.
They're little. Let them grow up a little.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, the big deer, they're on the private.
Yeah.
Like every morning we drive down to the bus stop and we're like, oh my God, look at that whitetail. Right. Like they're huge. And then after that first weekend, they were all gone.
They're gone.
So
yeah, that's the rough part about it. I mean, honestly, Montana is a great place to hunt if you have the ability. And like you said, I mean, if you had somebody to watch kids and you could really go out and get into it. I mean, Montana is probably one of the best places in the country to hunt.
Absolutely. It's just the family aspect of I'm here by myself, and
Man, kudos to you. I'm very impressed that you're doing all that you're doing. Husband's in Colorado, you're in Montana, like you're what First Phorm represents right there.
Thanks. Just trying to live each day, taking it day by day, and we make it work.
Nice. So. Well, I wanted to talk to you about one more thing before I let you go. We've kind of talked about a little bit about it, which is the November Knockdown Challenge. So I had a hard time getting people involved in it because they didn't, I had never done it. This was kind of my first year of doing it, and people are like, well, what is it? And I really didn't get a lot of people into it. So I would love to hear from you. I mean, you've been a finalist a couple of times. Love for you to get my listeners excited about it. I mean, I get it. November's another year away, but hey, no better time than now to start preparing. So
exactly.
Will you talk a little bit about that program?
So the first year, they had, just come out with First Phorm Outdoors. I was super excited. And really, I just had done it was all everybody's in one pot, guys and girls. So I was just doing it for fun. Doing it to support the community and the group and to be part of it. And then they actually chose me as a wild card to come out, me and another gal. So it was 2 girls against 8 guys. Yeah. And it was a blast. That was my first experience going to HQ and meeting all of these absolutely amazing people and just really getting involved into the community. In the first year, the exercises were, pretty good, hard, going through everything. And then at the actual finals, I have never been in so much pain. I have never, it just was the worst, best experience of my life, literally. We had 4 workouts in one day. And by the time all of us got on the bus to go home, we were just defeated. And getting off the bus at the hotel, it's probably a half-hour, 45-minute drive back to the hotel from the actual workouts. We couldn't walk. None of us. It was, when I say I can't walk, I really couldn't walk. It was that bad. We were sore for 4 days. We all had a group message going this hurts really bad. So that was the best, like I said, best time of my life. I would go back to that in a heartbeat with those people. And it was an amazing experience. And at that first one, I got 6th, which was I couldn't believe that I
That's
beat
amazing.
A couple of guys, which is super exciting. But it was just a wild experience. And then the second year, I kind of knew more what to expect. Really worked hard up to training for November. And I was out there really pushing myself for all of those workouts, making sure that I thought my time was keeping up with the guys at least, and, to push myself in that sense, because I didn't know where all these other girls were going to end up either. So, and then the second year of the November Knockdown Challenge, I made it into the top 10 and got to go again. So that was really awesome for me. And then the the workouts, it was 2 days. They split it into 2 days, 5 workouts. They were difficult. Do not get me wrong. They were very difficult, especially because it was almost more difficult competing against the women than it was the girls, because the guys I could see, or against the guys, I could see the guys ahead of me. I had something to chase. Whereas the other girls, man, we were all right together. And so pushing each other, it was crazy hard, way harder in the competition. But I would say the workouts, I liked how they spaced them out a little bit more, gave you a little bit more rest, because I could get off the bus. Yeah. So it was much better. And then this year, I was excited to get more of a community involvement, because it's very competitive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who maybe aren't at that level of competition would just sit back and go, I don't really feel like I can't make it anyway, so I'm not going to try. So I was excited to see that this year they did the community aspect.
Yeah.
I agree, though, that I think that there maybe needed to be a little level of competition, just so that people are wanting to get involved, chase something.
Yeah.
Because yes, I agree. It was an awesome aspect. I got my kids involved more this year, because otherwise, man, get out of my way. Like, I got work to do.
Yeah.
And so getting them involved this year, we did it at separate times last year with my oldest, and to get my youngest involved this year was like, man, this is so cool. Like,
that is cool
to have her, with her little bow out there.
Yeah.
And it just was. We got done with it, and I was like, how was it? And they're like, all right, it was fun. Like, okay, we see why you forced us to do this.
Right.
And then the next week they're like, oh, can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? So it was really fun to get them more involved and to have a little bit more relaxed community aspect of it. So, but it's something that's fun. It's just getting out there and doing it just for fun.
See, and that's what I was trying to get people to do. I'm like, just get out, just have fun with it. And I agree, like this year really was more about just having fun. And this was my first year, obviously, as part of it. And I could look back at what had been done in the past. Like, I kind of actually wish it was a little bit more on the competitive side. I'm a huge competitor. Even if we go to like a total archery challenge or something like that, like we're competing. Like I'm going to beat you at whatever we're doing, kind of a thing. Right. And so I love that part of it. But I also, now that you say that, I think that's awesome too, to be able to get your kids involved, get the family involved, more the community. And a lot of people are like, I don't know. It seems like it doesn't look as hard as it sounds. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you
didn't do the workouts.
Exactly. I was like,
that's what that means.
Do those workouts.
And you actually do them and you push yourself and you are going as fast and hard as you can.
Yeah.
And I couldn't necessarily do that with I still worked hard with my kids. It was probably harder because I'm running in between trying to help everybody.
That's true.
And, within our time limits and do that. But if you think that these workouts are easy, and you didn't do them.
That's what
I promise you, that last one with the 60 burpees and trying to calm your breath, it's not easy.
Well, that's what I was saying. I'm like, and I get it. Like, I'm a runner. I'm not I usually lift weights a couple times a week. And so I do some strength training. I hate burpees. I hate burpees with a passion. But so I'm like, I'm dying during these things. What do you mean they're not that hard? Like, this is pure hell to me. That's what that's what I felt like.
Exactly. So and it literally, each workout took 15, 20 minutes, maybe. Yeah. And so it probably takes longer to set it all up than anything. And it's like, why not? Why not just show that you're supporting the community and being a part of it? Because that's what First Form really looks for, is people taking initiative and just being a part to support each other. Like, that's what this community is all about. Like, if you go into the Facebook group, it is nothing but like somebody posted one picture and it is like and a million amazing comments from wonderful, genuine people. Yeah. So,
dude,
being involved in that, it's amazing.
I just called you dude. I didn't mean to call you dude, but
no.
but when I
no offense taken, I've been called much worse.
I'm sorry, but when I first got into those comments, I thought like, oh man, they got to be screening these comments, because there's like, when there's a post, like, it is so and there's like some things I'm like, man, people could say some, there could be some negativity in there. There's not. Like, it is 100% support, positivity. And that's me. I'm not a person that's going to dig anybody down. I'm going to support you, even if you're not able to do some of the things that others are able to do. Who cares? Honestly,
who cares?
Be you.
You are bettering yourself.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And that's what I try to tell people is like, take advantage of this, better yourself. This is going to do is improve you as a person, as a hunter, as as a father, as a mother, whatever you want to do. Like, this is just going to make you a better person. And so I love hearing the stories from you, because I think that's real life stories that you've lived it, you've done it, you've seen both sides of that challenge. And so I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just so much fun. And if once they do hold another games and going back, having that opportunity to go is literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. It is the most amazing. And each group that I went with, they're amazing people. Yeah. And it's people like you and me who are working full time, who, are just involved in First Phorm Outdoors, not necessarily even a Legionnaire.
Right.
Most of them weren't, I don't think. And so to have that opportunity to expand, I mean, I live in Montana with 2,000 people. Like, I ain't making many friends here, like the way I live my life of fitness and food and the way I view things. Yes, it's more acceptable in Montana, but the fitness part of it is not really that big.
Right.
So to find other like-minded people who message me all the time, thinking about you, how you doing? Yeah. Like, these are other just people who I've met and made friends with, and they're amazing people. So just getting involved in this community, I've made so many friendships. Yeah. It's amazing.
That's what I keep telling people is just get involved in this community. You're going to love it. Just as soon as you step into it and start, and take that initiative, you can't be bashful in this community either. Like, they want you to talk to you. They want to get to know you. They want to know what you're doing for fun and what did you do for Thanksgiving and what are you going to do for Christmas? Like, they really care about you. And so taking advantage of that and like I said, I've only been in this program for a couple of months. I've got friends all over the country now because of First Phorm Outdoors, which is awesome. It's awesome.
It is. It's really cool. And that's the positive of social media and bringing this community together of having all of these people just in different areas throughout the country of like, hey, I want to go maybe you want to go hunt somewhere and you can literally throw it out in the group and you're going to get attacked with people. Come stay at my house. Like, I'll take you hunting here. Like, these people are genuine, real people. And you could pretty much, like, that's why it's called family with a PH, because everyone has that same value and they just want to be friends.
That's it. It's funny that you say that, because I met a guy that was from Wisconsin, and I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Been a Green Bay Packers fan my entire life. Hey, oh no.
Go Vikings.
No. All right. How do we end this thing? Oh, just kidding. No. But anyways, we were just talking about the Packers, and he's First Phorm Outdoors, and so we were just kind of chatting a little bit about it, and I told him I've never shot a whitetail before, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? You've never shot?" I'm like, I hunt in the West, there's not a lot of whitetail opportunities out here. I've got tons of muleys around me, but no whitetail. And he's like, man, get out here. You can stay at my place. We can, you can come out here and you don't even have to buy food. If you can just get here, you can use my gun, or you can use my bow. I'm like, we don't even know each other, man. Like, that's what life is about right there, isn't it? Like that's how life should be. We should be able to treat people like that, have relationships like that. And yeah, we're family, which is really cool.
It is really cool. And I'm so grateful and blessed to be part of the community. Yeah. And it's bettered my life of just even looking at, I'm very rarely scrolling anymore, but like just to see the little glimpses that are in there, it's like, man, this is powerful. Even if I don't comment or anything like that, it's powerful to me to see other people.
Powerful and impactful. It impacts your life. It really, it can change your life and for the better. I can promise anybody that's listening that it'll benefit your life for the better. Well, Britt, I just want to say thank you for coming on, being my first guest on the First Phorm Family segment. I'm so excited to get to know you a little bit better. Now we're family, Britt. So now I'm gonna have to come out to Colorado. We're gonna have to do a podcast, maybe do some hunting together.
There we go. That would be amazing. Absolutely. I would love it.
I got some really good spots there close to Kremlin. I've got 2 deer right there on the wall that I'll send you pictures of them, but that I got right there close to Kremlin. So amazing place. I love being out there.
It is. And that's where I've shot all of my elk. and
Really?
that I've shot. And it's just, yeah, I love it. I love it out there. So it'll be great.
That's awesome. Well, Britt, before I let you go, let's make sure everybody knows where to find you. I've already told everybody in the intro to follow you, but tell people where to go. They can catch up with you in your life.
Sure. I am 99% of my life is on Instagram, and it's Britt L. Mace. And I've got a Facebook group called Actively Living that I do a lot of mom stuff in, of how to have a healthy lifestyle and live actively, not necessarily hunting, but maybe more for wives who like to go hunting, or not hunting, like to go hiking while their husband's hunting, that kind of thing. Just raising kids with fitness and health and stuff like that. So I do have Actively Living Facebook group, and then most of the time on Instagram. So
it's awesome. Make sure you guys go follow her. And honestly, actually, so the cool thing about podcasts nowadays is we have all the statistics of who your followers and listeners are. 35% of my followers are female, which is really
awesome.
Surprising for a hunting podcast. So, I know all of those moms and ladies out there are looking for ways to, well, just stay fit, be active, be a good mom, and looking at, I've like I said, I've been following you, watching your content, and that's exactly what you're doing, is helping them be exactly that. So for all you ladies out there, make sure and go and follow, be part of that Facebook group, and just be part of the family. So Britt, I'll let you back to your day. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to talking to you more in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad to call you a friend.
Yes, absolutely. See ya.
See ya.